It was a cold winter night in a small, quiet town. The wind howled through the empty streets and soft snowflakes fell like tiny white feathers from the dark sky. Most people were inside their warm homes, but one little girl could not sleep. Her name was Lila, a 6-year-old with bright eyes and a heart full of kindness. Lila lived with her grandmother in a small wooden house at the edge of the forest. Her parents were gone. They had disappeared 2 years ago during a strange storm that no one could explain. Lila missed them every night. Sometimes she looked out of her window watching the stars and whispered, "Maybe you're out there somewhere." That night, as the clock struck midnight, Lila heard something. A faint cry, soft and strange, coming from the woods. It wasn't a human cry. It was different. High-pitched, almost like a baby, but mixed with a strange echo, as if the sound came from inside her head. She froze for a moment, her small hands clutching her blanket. She whispered to herself, "Is someone out there?" The sound came again. It was weak and sad. Her curiosity grew stronger than her fear. Quietly, she put on her boots, wrapped herself in her pink blanket, and opened the back door. The cold air bit her cheeks and her breath turned white in the moonlight. The forest looked dark and endless, but the strange cry pulled her forward. Step by step, she followed the sound through the trees. Her small flashlight flickered as the wind blew. She saw something move behind a bush. A soft glow, blue and trembling like a tiny star, had fallen to earth. Lila gasped. "What is that?" She came closer and saw a small creature lying on the snow. It was not human. Its skin was light blue, almost transparent, and its eyes, big, shining, and full of fear, looked right into hers. The creature was shivering violently. It was wrapped in something that looked like silver threads, now torn and covered in frost. For a moment, Lila just stood there, too shocked to move. Then she saw its little hands. They were shaking. It was freezing. "Oh no. You're cold," she said softly. Without thinking twice, she took off her blanket and carefully covered the tiny creature. Its glowing eyes blinked slowly, as if trying to understand what she was doing. Then for the first time, it made a small sound. Not a cry this time, but something soft and thankful, like a baby sigh. Lila smiled. "It's okay. You'll be warm now." But as soon as she touched the creature's arm, she felt something strange. A flash of light ran through her fingers, warm and electric. For a second, she saw images in her mind. Stars, a dark sky, a crash, a silver ship broken in the forest. She stepped back in surprise, her heart pounding fast. What was that?" she whispered. The creature looked weak again. Lila quickly decided to bring it home. She picked it up carefully. It was light as a feather, and ran back through the woods. The wind howled louder, and she felt as if someone or something was watching her from the darkness. When she finally reached her house, she shut the door behind her and placed the creature near the fireplace. Its skin began to change color slightly, from blue to pale white as the warmth touched it. Lila wrapped it tighter in her blanket and sat beside it, staring in wonder. "Where did you come from?" she whispered. The creature blinked slowly but didn't answer. Instead, a small silver symbol glowed faintly on its chest, a circle with 3 lines crossing it. Lila didn't know what it meant, but something deep inside told her that this was not just any baby. It was from somewhere far away, maybe the stars she had been talking to all these nights. Suddenly, the lights in the house flickered. The wind outside stopped. Everything became quiet, too quiet. Then from the woods came a deep humming sound, low and powerful, like thunder rolling across the sky. Lila ran to the window. In the distance, she saw lights moving in the forest, not flashlights, not cars, floating orbs of red and white, searching, scanning. She turned back to the alien baby, who was now looking straight at her with wide, scared eyes. Lila whispered, "They're looking for you, aren't they?" The baby made a soft sound again, almost like a yes. And in that moment, Lila realized something. This night would change her life forever. She had saved something not from this world, and now that world was coming to find it. Lila couldn't sleep that night. She sat near the fireplace watching the little alien baby wrapped in her pink blanket. The creature was quiet now, its glowing eyes slowly closing as if drifting into sleep. But outside, the humming sound grew louder and closer. The wooden walls of the small house shook lightly. Lila's heart raced. She peeked through the window again. The lights in the forest were moving, in strange, perfect circles, like something was searching from above. She could see beams of red light cutting through the trees. "Are they coming for you?" she whispered again. The alien baby opened its eyes slowly. Its tiny hand lifted and pointed toward the sky. Lila followed its finger and saw it, a bright object hovering far above the forest, hidden partly by clouds. It looked like a star, but it moved too smoothly, too fast. Lila felt both fear and wonder. "That's your home?" The baby made a soft chirping sound. Then the silver symbol on its chest began to glow again, brighter this time, pulsing like a heartbeat. The lights outside reacted immediately. The red beams stopped moving and started turning toward Lila's house. Her eyes widened. No, they found us." Panicking, she grabbed the baby and ran to her grandmother's room. "Grandma, wake up, please!" The old woman sat up, confused and sleepy. "Lila, what's wrong?" "Something's out there. They're looking for—" Lila stopped. She couldn't say it. Who would believe her? That a small alien baby was in her arms? Grandma rubbed her eyes. "It's just the storm, dear. Come back to bed." But before Lila could answer, a bright flash of red light filled the window. The house vibrated with a deep sound. Whom, whum, and the air turned warm, almost buzzing. Grandma gasped. "What on earth?" The baby began to cry softly, the glow on its chest flashing faster. Lila could feel heat rising around them. Then suddenly the fireplace flame turned blue. The radio on the shelf switched on by itself, whispering strange, broken sounds, like static, but almost words. Lila held the baby tighter. "It's okay. Don't cry. I'll keep you safe." And then, as quickly as it began, the noise outside stopped. The lights vanished. Silence returned. The only sound left was the slow ticking of the old wall clock. Grandma looked at the window again. Nothing. No red lights, no sound, only snow falling peacefully. "It's gone," she whispered, but Lila knew it wasn't over. She could still feel something, a low vibration under her feet, as if the earth itself was breathing. Morning came. The sun peeked weakly through the clouds. Grandma thought it was all a dream, but Lila knew the truth. The alien baby was real, and it was still sleeping near the fireplace, wrapped safely in her blanket. When she checked on it, she noticed something new. The silver symbol on its chest had changed. The 3 lines now formed a triangle around the circle, glowing faintly. "What does that mean?" she whispered. Then the baby opened its eyes. It reached out and touched Lila's forehead gently. Suddenly her mind filled with images again. A silver ship flying through storms, creatures like the baby working inside, and then a huge explosion. The ship breaking apart, flames, screams, falling through clouds. Lila gasped and stepped back, breathing hard. You crashed here, didn't you?" The baby made a weak sound. Lila realized it was trying to communicate, and not with words, but with feelings. She could feel its sadness, its loneliness, its fear. It was completely alone on a strange planet. Her small hand touched its head gently. "Don't worry. I'll help you go home." At that moment, the baby's symbol glowed brighter again, and suddenly all the electronics in the house flickered on. The TV, the radio, even Grandma's old clock. Everything started showing the same strange pattern, the circle and the 3 lines. Grandma rushed in. "Lila, what are you doing?" "I didn't do it," Lila cried. "It's him." Before Grandma could speak, the pattern changed into a series of dots and lines. Beep, 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 beep. Lila stared. "It's a signal." The baby looked at her, eyes glowing softly. Lila suddenly understood, and it was sending a message. Somewhere, someone, or something, was listening. Then outside the house, a loud crash echoed through the forest. Birds flew into the air, and the ground trembled again. Lila ran to the window and saw smoke rising in the distance, near the same place where she had found the baby last night. Her eyes widened. "Another crash?" Grandma held her arm. "No, Lila, you stay inside." But Lila couldn't stop thinking. If another ship had crashed, maybe it wasn't a rescue, maybe something else had come, something looking for the baby, but not to help it. She looked down at the small creature, who was now staring at her as if it already knew what she was thinking. Lila whispered, "We're not safe anymore, are we?" The baby blinked slowly, and in her mind she heard a voice, soft, almost like a whisper from the stars. "Run." The morning sun had barely touched the sky when Lila packed a small bag. Inside, she put a bottle of water, a flashlight, and her grandmother's old compass. The alien baby, still wrapped in her pink blanket, was quiet but alert. Its silver chest symbol glowed faintly, as if it knew what was coming. Grandma was making tea in the kitchen when she saw Lila standing near the door. "Where are you going, sweetheart?" Lila hesitated. "Just outside for a bit. Stay close to the house. The forest is dangerous." Lila nodded, but her mind was already made up. She couldn't stay. The voice she heard last night, that single word, run, still echoed inside her head like a warning. Something bad was coming. As soon as Grandma turned her back, Lila slipped out quietly, holding the baby close to her chest. The morning was calm, but too calm. No bird sang, no wind moved the trees. It was like the whole forest was holding its breath. She followed the same path she took the night before, deeper into the woods. The ground was still frozen, her boots leaving clear footprints behind. The baby kept looking around nervously, its eyes flashing blue every few seconds. "What's wrong?" Lila whispered. The baby pointed forward. Lila followed its gaze and froze. Ahead of her, the trees were burned, the ground blackened and smoke still rising. The second crash site, she ran closer. The smell of burnt metal filled the air. A small silver craft lay half buried in the snow, broken into two pieces. Sparks danced around it like fireflies. The same strange symbol, the circle with 3 lines, was engraved on its side, but this time there was movement inside. Lila hid behind a tree and peeked carefully. A tall figure stepped out of the wreckage, metallic, shining with glowing red eyes. Its body looked like armor, but its movements were too smooth for a robot. It scanned the area with a humming device in its hand. Lila's heart skipped a beat. She could feel the baby trembling in her arms. "Is that your friend?" she whispered. The baby shook its head and made a soft, fearful sound. Lila understood. "No." The creature turned suddenly, its red eyes flashing brighter. It raised its arm and a beam of light scanned the ground, the snow, the trees, and then Lila's footprints. Oh no, she ran. Branches whipped against her face, her breath came out in white clouds. The baby clung to her tightly, glowing brighter with every step. Behind her, the forest filled with a loud metallic roar. The ground shook again when the creature was following. Lila didn't dare look back. She only stopped when she reached the old bridge that crossed the frozen river. The wood creaked under her small feet. She looked down. The water was dark and deep, hidden under ice. "We can do this," she whispered. "We have to." The baby made a soft, pulsing sound, and suddenly the symbol on its chest projected a faint hologram. A glowing path through the trees, like a map. "You're showing me where to go?" Lila asked. The baby blinked once. "Yes." She smiled weakly. "Then lead the way." They crossed the bridge carefully and followed the glowing trail into a part of the forest Lila had never seen before. The trees here were twisted and huge, their roots glowing faintly blue beneath the snow. It felt like another world. But before she could wonder more, a loud metallic clang echoed behind her. The creature had reached the bridge. Lila turned and saw it standing there, scanning the woods. Then it raised its arm again and fired. A beam of red energy hit the ground near her, exploding into smoke and light. Lila screamed and fell behind a tree. "Run," she shouted at herself, clutching the baby tighter. The alien baby symbol flashed brighter than ever before. Suddenly, the air around them rippled like water. Everything became silent for a split second, and then, in a blink, they disappeared. When Lila opened her eyes, she was no longer in the forest. She was standing in a cave, and dark, glowing with blue light from the walls. The baby looked calm again. "What? What just happened?" she asked, her voice shaking. The baby looked up at her. A voice echoed softly in her head. Calm, gentle, and strange. Safe. For now. Lila looked around. The cave wasn't empty. Strange drawings covered the stone walls. Stars, planets, and creatures that looked like the baby. At the center of the cave was a round stone table, and on it, an old, dusty book. She stepped closer and opened it. The pages were filled with strange symbols, and one drawing made her gasp. It was her, a little girl with a blanket standing beside the same creature she was holding now. How is this possible? The baby looked up again, its eyes glowing softly. "It began long ago," the voice whispered in her mind. "And you were chosen." Lila froze. "Chosen for what?" Before she could ask, a deep rumble shook the cave. The walls trembled, dust falling from above. The creature from the forest had found them again. The baby's glow turned red this time, ready, focused. Lila stepped back, heart racing. "They're here," and the voice spoke again, this time louder, stronger. "Then it's time to fight back." The cave trembled again. Pebbles rolled down from the roof, and the blue light on the walls flickered like breathing flames. Lila held the alien baby close as dust filled the air. She could still hear the faint roar from outside. The metal creature was searching, scanning, coming closer. The baby's chest symbol glowed red, bright enough to light the cave. Lila coughed. "We can't stay here. It will find us." Then the baby's eyes changed color, from blue to soft white, and the air around them grew warm. The glowing marks on the cave walls began to shift and move. They were not just drawings. They were alive, forming new shapes and pictures. One image showed a bright planet surrounded by silver ships. Another showed tall figures with shining eyes standing beside humans. Lila watched in amazement. "That's Earth. And them together?" The baby's voice echoed in her head again, calm but sad. "Long ago. Friends. Friends?" Lila whispered. "You mean your people and us?" The baby nodded slowly. More lights moved across the walls, showing scenes of humans learning, building, and creating with the help of glowing beings from the stars. Then the images turned dark. Explosions, storms, and a giant rift in the sky. Lila stepped back. "You fought each other." The voice came again. "They feared us. They destroyed the bridge between worlds." The glowing pictures faded, leaving silence. Lila could hear her own heartbeat. "So you came back now's why?" Before the baby could answer, a new sound echoed through the cave. Metallic footsteps, slow and heavy. The creature had found them. The baby looked at Lila, eyes flashing red again. "Hide!" Lila ducked behind a rock, holding her breath. The cave entrance filled with red light as the metal hunter entered. Its red eyes scanned the walls, reflecting off the glowing symbols. It moved closer to the stone table, closer to the old book. Lila's heart pounded. She held the baby tighter, but then something strange happened. The book on the table began to shake. Dust flew into the air, and the pages turned by themselves until they stopped on one page. The same drawing of Lila and the alien baby. A beam of light shot out from the page straight into the creature's chest. The hunter screamed, a sound of metal grinding and energy burning, then fell to its knees. Sparks flew. Lila watched in shock as its red eyes turned white, and then went dark. The cave went silent again. The baby looked weak now, its glow fading. Lila rushed to it. "Hey, stay with me." It opened its eyes slightly. Energy, low. "Can I help?" It reached out a hand, touching the book again. Instantly, light filled the cave. The walls, the floor, everything began to shine with blue patterns. Lila could see symbols forming beneath her feet, lines connecting her and the baby like a web. Her body felt light, almost floating. "What's happening?" she cried. The voice came again, stronger now. "Bond complete. You are the keeper." "The keeper? What does that mean?" "You protect the link. Only you can open the gate." The light faded slowly and everything went quiet again. The baby's glow turned calm blue. The cave looked peaceful now, almost sacred. Lila sat down beside the baby, still confused. "The gate? Where is it?" The baby pointed to the back of the cave, where the wall shimmered like glass. Lila walked closer and touched it. It felt solid, but when she pressed harder, her hand passed right through. Behind it, she saw stars. Not painted ones, real stars shining as if the universe was waiting on the other side. Her eyes widened. "Is this the bridge your people lost?" The baby nodded weakly. "Broken, long ago. Must be repaired." Lila's mind raced. She was just a 6-year-old girl, but somehow this alien child believed she could fix a bridge between worlds. She looked back at the creature's body, motionless now, smoke rising from its chest. "Was it sent to stop you?" "Yes, they want silence. No return." Lila swallowed hard. "Then we'll stop them first." The baby blinked, eyes glowing bright again. Not red this time, but gold. "You are brave. Like the first keeper." Suddenly, the ground shook again. The cave roof cracked and a deep rumble came from outside. The baby looked frightened. More coming. Lila grabbed the book and held the baby tightly. "Then we go through the gate." She took a deep breath, stepped toward the shimmering wall, and pushed forward. For a moment, everything turned white. Light, sound, and wind all blending together. Then she felt herself falling through space. Stars rushed past her eyes. She wasn't sure if she was dreaming or truly flying between worlds. The baby's voice echoed faintly beside her. "Welcome. Home." The light grew brighter, and suddenly she was standing on soft silver ground under a sky full of twin moons. Towers of glass and light surrounded her. Lila gasped. "Where are we?" The baby smiled weakly. "The world before Earth forgot us." But before she could ask anything more, the sound of machines filled the air again. Louder this time. Closer. The hunters had followed them. Even here. Lila looked up, eyes filled with fear and determination. "Then we fight together." Lila stood frozen, staring at the new world around her. The ground beneath her feet shimmered like silver glass. Strange flowers glowed softly, opening and closing like they were breathing. Above her, 2 moons hung side by side, painting the land in pale blue light. She could hardly breathe. This is beautiful." The alien baby floated slightly beside her now, no longer needing the blanket. Its skin shined like starlight, and the silver symbol on its chest pulsed gently. "Welcome to Alindra." The voice whispered inside her head. "Our home. Once full of life." Lila looked around. The place looked alive yet empty. Towers of crystal reached toward the sky, some broken, some glowing faintly. Rivers of light flowed through the ground like veins. It was both peaceful and haunting. "What happened here?" she asked softly. The baby floated lower, touching the ground. Its glow dimmed a little. "War, fear. Humans closed the gate, our worlds drifted apart." Lila frowned. "But my parents always told me stories about stars. Maybe they believed in you." The baby looked at her kindly. Many did. Some still remember. They started walking through the glowing field. Every step Lila took left faint golden footprints behind her. She noticed the air shimmered slightly, as if the world itself was watching her. After a while, they reached a huge silver arch. It stood in the middle of a circular platform with strange symbols engraved all over it. It looked broken. The center was empty, cracked like shattered glass. Lila touched it carefully. "Is this the gate?" The baby nodded. "Yes, the bridge between our worlds." She ran her fingers across the glowing carvings. Some of them looked familiar. They matched the symbols in the old book she had taken from the cave. She opened the book quickly. "Look, these match." The baby's eyes glowed brighter. "You can fix it. The keeper must repair the gate." Lila blinked. "Me? But I'm just a kid." "You were chosen. The bond gives you the power." Before Lila could reply, the ground beneath them began to shake. The sky turned dark as clouds rolled across the twin moons. A deep humming sound filled the air, the same sound she had heard back on Earth. The baby's glow flickered. They followed us. From above, shapes appeared, dark metal ships cutting through the sky, glowing red like angry eyes. They spread across the horizon, scanning the land below. Lila clutched the book tightly. "What do we do now?" "Hide," said the baby. "Alindra remembers. The planet will protect you." Suddenly, the silver ground opened like a door beneath them. Lila gasped as they fell through, down a tunnel of light. When they landed, they were in another cave, but this one was glowing gold and blue. Strange crystals grew from the walls, humming softly. Lila stood up, brushing dust off her clothes. "Where are we now?" "The heart chamber," the baby replied. "Where the gate's energy sleeps." In the center of the chamber stood a giant crystal, cracked and dim. Around it were carvings, humans and aliens together, building something, smiling. It looked peaceful. Lila walked closer and placed her hand on the crystal. The moment she did, it started to glow faintly. The baby's voice came again. "Your touch wakes it. The keeper's bond restores power." Lila watched in amazement as the light spread slowly across the floor. The walls lit up, showing more ancient symbols, but suddenly the baby winced in pain. Its body flickered like a dying flame. "Hey, what's wrong?" Lila cried. "They are blocking the energy." "Trying to close the link again," it said weakly. Lila looked around. "Then we need to stop them." The baby's eyes met hers. "You can call the guardians." "Guardians?" "Spirits of Alindra. Protectors of the bridge." Lila hesitated, then remembered the glowing marks on the wall. She quickly flipped through the book again until she found a page with the same symbols. She pressed her hand on it and whispered, "Please, help us." A bright beam of light shot from the book into the crystal. The entire chamber shook. The cracks in the crystal closed, and a wave of energy burst out like a heartbeat. Figures appeared from the light, tall, transparent beings made of gold mist, their eyes glowing white. They surrounded Lila and bowed their heads slightly. The baby whispered, "They hear you, Keeper." Lila looked up at them. "We need to fix the gate before the hunters destroy everything." The guardians raised their hands and the chamber filled with light. Through the crystal surface, Lila saw visions. The gate shining again, Earth and Alindra reconnecting, people from both worlds standing side by side. For a moment, hope filled her heart. But then the vision cracked. Fire, destruction, and the metal hunters breaking through the skies. Lila gasped. "If we fail, both worlds will fall." The baby looked weak but determined. "Then we cannot fail." Suddenly, one of the guardians turned its head sharply, sensing something. A deep sound echoed through the tunnel. Red light flashed. "They're here again," Lila shouted. The guardians surrounded her and the baby, forming a shield of golden energy. Metal footsteps approached, followed by the familiar red glow of the hunters. Lila held the book close to her chest. "We can do this," she whispered. The baby's eyes shined like stars. "The battle for the gate begins." The air trembled as light and metal clashed, filling the chamber with sparks of gold and red. Lila stood in the center, her small hands glowing, the old power of the Keepers awakening inside her. The war for two worlds had begun. The chamber shook like thunder was trapped inside it. Golden light clashed with red fire as the guardians fought the metal hunters. The air crackled with energy. Lila stood in the center, holding the old book close to her chest, her eyes wide with fear. She could see the guardians moving like flashes of light, graceful but fierce, while the hunters fired red beams that burned through the air. The baby floated beside her, glowing brighter than ever. "Stay behind the light," it whispered in her mind. Lila nodded, trying to be brave. The sound of the battle echoed in her ears, sharp, metallic, and loud. One of the hunters fell, its body melting into red dust, but more came through the tunnel, crawling like insects made of steel. The guardians fought back with waves of gold energy, but the enemy didn't stop. For every hunter destroyed, two more appeared. Lila shouted, "We can't hold them forever." The baby's voice trembled. "You can help. Use the bond." "What bond?" "The one that connects us." "Close your eyes. Listen to the light." Lila took a deep breath and did as it said. She felt warmth spread through her body, like sunlight under her skin. The noise around her faded. In her mind, she saw the same glowing web she had seen in the cave, lines of light connecting her, the baby, and the world around them. "Now," the voice said. "Reach out." She stretched out her hand. Instantly, the book in her arms began to float. Its pages flipped wildly until it stopped at a glowing symbol, the same circle with 3 lines. The ground under her feet lit up with the same mark. A beam of blue-white light shot upward, bursting from her hands and striking the ceiling. The red beams from the hunters shattered like glass against it. The guardians turned and looked at her, not with surprise but with respect. The baby's voice grew stronger. "You are the Keeper, Lila. The gate answers to you." Lila opened her eyes, glowing faintly with gold light. "Then let's finish this." She raised her hands again, and the air itself began to hum. The hunters staggered back, their armor cracking under invisible force. The energy she released spread like waves, pushing them toward the tunnel. The leader of the hunters, larger and darker than the others, stepped forward. Its voice was deep and cold. "The gate must remain closed. Humanity is not ready." Lila stared at it. "You can talk?" "Your kind destroyed our world once," it said. "We protect the balance. No more bridges, no more chaos," Lila frowned. "That's not true. We can fix it. We can live together again." The creature's eyes turned crimson. "You sound like your parents." The words hit Lila like a lightning strike. "My parents?" The hunter's voice grew darker. "They were keepers too. They tried to open the gate. They failed. They paid the price." Her heart stopped. "You mean they're gone because of you?" "They chose to break the rules," it said coldly. "Just like you." Lila's hands shook. Her memories of her parents came rushing back. The storm, the night they vanished, her mother's final smile. Now she knew the truth. They hadn't left her. They had been fighting for this same bridge between worlds. Tears filled her eyes. But this time she didn't feel weak. She felt powerful. She looked at the creature and said quietly, Then I'll finish what they started. She lifted both hands, and the blue light exploded into pure white. The floor cracked, the ceiling roared, and the hunters screamed as they were thrown backward, disintegrating into sparks. The golden energy spread like fire, sealing the tunnels behind them. Silence filled the chamber again. The battle was over. Lila fell to her knees, breathing hard. The baby floated beside her, its glow calm and soft again. "You did it," she whispered. "No," it said gently. "We did it." The guardians gathered around them, bowing slightly. Their voices echoed as one. "The Keeper of Two Worlds has awakened." Lila looked up, confused. "Two worlds?" The baby's eyes turned bright gold. "The gate links Earth and Alindra. Both must live or both will fall. You are the bridge now." Lila stood slowly. The giant crystal in the middle of the chamber glowed once more, brighter than before. Its cracks healed completely, and the ground vibrated with power. The baby smiled faintly. "The gate is almost ready, but to open it fully you must find the core." "The core?" Lila asked. "The heart of Alindra's power, hidden by the first keepers. It can repair everything or destroy everything." Lila stared at the crystal. "Then that's where we go next." But before she could take another step, the walls trembled again. The golden light flickered. Outside, the sky darkened. The baby's voice turned urgent. "Someone else has awakened the core. We are not alone." Lila's hands tightened around the book. "Then we'd better hurry." She turned to the guardians. "Show us the path." The tallest guardian stepped forward, raising its glowing arm. A golden doorway appeared in the wall, swirling like water. Through it, Lila could see a strange floating city, half destroyed, half shining, and in the distance the baby whispered, "The final journey begins." Lila took a deep breath, stepped through the golden light, and vanished into the unknown. The golden doorway closed behind Lila and the alien baby with a soft hum. They stood at the edge of a floating city that stretched across the clouds. Half of it shimmered like glass, alive with light. The other half was broken. Dark towers, fallen bridges, and silent ruins. The wind whispered through the shattered buildings. Lila could see stars both above and below. The city was suspended in the middle of endless sky. The baby floated beside her, its glow soft but steady. "This is Arian," it said quietly. "The city of the core, the first home of the keepers." Lila looked around in awe. "It's beautiful and sad." They walked forward across a silver bridge that hummed softly under their feet. The old book in Lila's hands glowed faintly, its pages turning on their own. Symbols rose from the paper like fireflies and floated toward the heart of the city, a tall golden tower standing alone. "The core is there," the baby said. "It calls to you." Lila nodded, but something felt wrong. The air was heavy, like the world was holding its breath again. Then she saw movement, shadows slipping between the broken buildings. Red glints flashed in the dark. Her heart sank. "They're back." From the ruins, the metal hunters appeared, dozens of them, crawling, flying, their red eyes burning. At the center of them floated the leader, the same tall figure with a deep voice. Its armor was cracked from the last battle, but it still stood strong. "You should have stayed hidden, little keeper," it said coldly. "The core belongs to no one." Lila stood tall. "It belongs to everyone. It's the bridge between our worlds," the creature laughed, a sound like breaking metal. "You don't understand. The core has no mercy. Open it, and both worlds will burn." The baby floated in front of her. "He lies." The leader raised its hand and the sky turned red. The hunters surrounded them. Lila gripped the book tightly, her small hands trembling. "We can't fight all of them." "You don't have to," said the baby. "You only have to reach the tower." Lila took a deep breath and ran. Lasers of red light shot through the air. She ducked and jumped over fallen stones, the baby glowing bright behind her like a shield. Every time a hunter tried to block her, a burst of blue energy knocked it aside. The leader shouted, "You can't stop the cycle. The gate must remain closed forever." But Lila didn't stop. She reached the base of the golden tower and placed the book against the door. It opened silently, light spilling out like a sunrise. Inside, everything glowed. The walls were made of crystal and filled with moving stars. In the center floated the core, a giant sphere of pure energy, half gold and half blue, pulsing like a heartbeat. Lila stepped closer, her reflection shining in the core's surface. For a moment she saw her parents were smiling at her. Her voice broke. "Mom, Dad?" A soft whisper filled the air. "We are proud of you, Lila." She froze, tears in her eyes. "You're here?" "Not anymore," the voice said gently. "Only a memory. You have done what we could not." The baby's eyes glowed brighter. The Corps remembers all keepers. The ground shook as the leader entered the tower. "Don't touch it," it shouted. "You'll destroy everything." Lila turned. "No, I'll fix what you broke." The baby floated beside her. "Now, Keeper, join your heart with the Corps." Lila took one last breath and placed her hand on the glowing sphere. Instantly, light exploded through the tower. The walls vanished, replaced by endless stars. The hunters froze midair, their red eyes fading to white. The leader screamed, covering its face as cracks spread across its armor. You've doomed us all." Lila shook her head. "No, I set you free." The light grew brighter, blinding, pure, warm. For a few seconds, there was only silence. When the brightness faded, the hunters were gone. The city glowed again, whole and alive. The broken towers had healed, and the rivers of light flowed peacefully. Lila stood at the center, the book floating before her, now shining like new. The baby hovered nearby, smiling faintly. "The bridge is open," it said softly. "Both worlds are connected again." Lila looked down through the clouds and saw Earth, blue and bright, shimmering as golden light spread across its surface. The same energy from Alindra flowed into it, restoring what had been lost. She felt warmth in her chest, the same energy her parents once carried. "So this is what they wanted, peace." The baby nodded. "You completed the bond. The gate will stay open as long as you believe." Lila smiled, though tears rolled down her cheeks. "Will I ever see you again?" "Always," the baby said. "Every time you look at the stars." The Corps pulsed once more. A soft wind wrapped around her, carrying her back toward the light. She felt weightless again, falling gently through space and through silver clouds, through shining stars, through time itself. When she opened her eyes, she was standing in her grandmother's living room. The fireplace was warm, the house quiet. Her pink blanket lay neatly folded beside her. For a moment, she thought it was all a dream, until she saw the book glowing softly on the table. On its cover, new words had appeared. Lila, the keeper of two worlds. Outside, the night sky sparkled brighter than ever before. Two moons, faint but visible, hung beside Earth's own. Lila smiled softly. "Good night, Alindra." A faint voice echoed in her mind one last time. "Good night, Keeper." The stars glowed a little brighter, and the bridge between worlds remained open forever.